Welcome back, everybody, to more CSGO news. As always, I hope you guys all enjoy. Let's hop into it. Why don't we? And as always, all of today's stories will be timestamped down below if you want to bounce around in between stories. The first of which, confirmations out there, MiBR will be adding Lucas in place of Felps. But with that being said, a loan swap is now in store as Luminosity Gaming will then get Felps. So a little bit of a switch of the players, switcheroo we have seen quite frequently actually throughout 2019 and 2018 as two players switch places on both of those teams. And dare I say it, I am still very unsure about this MiBR move. There's a lot of talk out there about that core of Fur and coldzera alongside Fallen, that core roster over there. Is this the issue? Is this was Felps the issue, and is this a solution to bring in one of the twins who have now been separated for the first time in nearly a decade of playing together on the same lineups? And also, dare I say that Luminosity Gaming could have gotten the better end of this trade. I still have high hopes for the future of Felps. He is still a younger player, and he's always been kind of a little bit of a scapegoat, the fall guy for the MiBR core whenever he played with them now twice and has been kicked now twice. And so I'm still very unsure this is actually the solution for MiBR. And with that being said, I think I'm very excited to see the future of Luminosity Gaming with an addition of Felps if he can keep up his morale, because of course, you know, a downgrade from Brazilian lineups can often affect players out there. But with that confirmation, other stories as well have been broken, and that being Hector's latest podcast. I will link down below for all of you guys. If any of you are Shazam fans, he actually had Shazam on the podcast, a great podcast. And with that, an amazing clip I did find. As many of you guys probably know, I've talked about this in the past as well as Hector has mentioned it. The old OpTic roster, when he had more control, they actually had a time to sign the new SK Gaming lineup. That was the former LG guys, you know, the core we were just talking about. He had a chance to sign them, but along with that, he discusses an offer he had for Mixwell, which when I heard this, I was freaking out.
And Fallen's gonna open the door, and he's gonna so it was gonna be sick, right? It's gonna be a sick ass announcement, and it happened twice because when we did the Infinite thing, at that time, Tarek and Rush had left to Cloud9. Mixwell was the only one left behind, and there was two options that in my head. There was two options that we were gonna do. We were either gonna build an all Spanish team with Mixwell. The fans love Mixwell, so it would have been easier to have them here. Not only that, but Mixwell likes, you know, the United States. Yeah. Yes, he missed home, but he would be okay here because we would make it obviously a family vibe the way that we always have. So it was going to be an all Spanish team with Mixwell. You know, having that team sort of, you know, make it an easier transition because one of the biggest fan favorites ever, stay on and, you know, sort of build this new team, and, you know, with content, it would have made it that much better. And the other option was, again, the SK team, which was at the time, you know, obviously the same team, but SK.
Can you imagine if Mixwell was still an OpTic with an all-Spanish lineup? You know, debatable if I would enjoy it as much as I think I would, but I love the guy, that being Mixwell, of course. And I'm really curious who they would have signed alongside him to play for OpTic. Would the roster still be around, though? You know, you got to think about that side of things, too. It likely wouldn't. And it seems that Mixwell is still happy over at Movistar. I thought it was a fun clip to share with all of you guys, though. The things that could have happened in CSGO that we never really know about, it still shocks me to this day, and I do miss you, Mixwell, so please join someone else. And also in the news out there, a bit of drama between Vitality and Navi. Pretty much all Vitality getting involved in drama this morning, but I will say, I'm not trying to clickbait this. I think we've grown over the past couple of years to actually just enjoy this drama for what it is and not take it too seriously. So let it be said, guys, I'm not going to blame any of these people or either side, really. I'm not going to take one in this argument. It did seem, though, Navi was missing timed scrims this morning, and therefore ApEX went after s1mple on Twitter this morning. This is probably the hottest part of the argument, that being a back and forth between those two players. Eventually, ApEX drops the hard R, and then he drops this tweet as well. Apparently what it looks like is calling s1mple a crappy player, you know, but I will say as well, with the initial tweets, it did seem like, of course they've now been deleted though because he dropped the hard R. People seemingly were siding with s1mple on this argument. I am still curious what was actually said on the server, because with that reference point, it does maybe seem that ApEX, when he called s1mple a crappy person, that might have been what s1mple said on the server. No excuse for the hard R to be dropped. It seemed he was very upset about this. You got to think about the other side, though. When you have a set schedule for scrims and you take them very seriously, as Vitality probably is right now, a rising team, as many of us know, the best current French team out there, they take it very seriously. And so if you miss those times, they get very angry. And even more context on that, what was actually said on the server is very important here, because s1mple seems to be like the angel in the conversation. Even Alex, though, gets involved as well and says, say what you said on the server, don't be like this guy on Twitter as well. So what was said on the server is probably very different, so let's keep that in mind. MBK and smooya also going back and forth. They were clearly joking, but it's funny even when you're joking, the jokes that they do make. MBK just savagely drops the snitch, and he was joking though. It was funny, okay? And so that's all the drama between Vitality and Navi. Navi missed scrims. Vitality got mad, and that's pretty much sums up the argument. There's no taking of sides here. I just love when pro players go back and forth. And two final small stories in CSGO news for all of you guys. Maikelele and Team NoChance are still looking for an organization to represent them, or at least pay for their boot camp and travel, for that being their potential major run. Of course, the minor are going to be starting up here, I guess not anytime too soon, but sometime very shortly as well. And with that being said, they do have a chance to actually make the major, and no funds apparently to pay for the stuff they do need. If you guys were around this time last major, there were plenty of mixed teams being signed by organizations out there. They were paying for their potential major runs, paying for boot camps and travel. And this time around, maybe not so much for a lot of those mixed teams out there. But to be fair, there aren't too many mixed teams in all of the minors combined this time around. Most of them have been signed. It's unfortunate to see a team like Maikelele and NoChance, who finally make it this far for the first time in several years, and no organization is willing to actually take a risk on these guys and pay them a sum of money. So they are still looking, and I hope the best for them in actually finding that. And then very lastly, in news for all of you, it will be Zero coming out of retirement, although it was more of a break, not really a retirement. He actually retired at the age of 19 or so, a former Hellraiser stand-in. He earned his starting spot on the former HR roster, then went on to play for Game Agents, and a very well-known name by a lot of diehard fans out there. He is now back at a retirement. So with that being said, I do not doubt he could be a mainstream name sometime very shortly. He did take a short break from the game itself, though, and clearly a lot has changed. So Zero is now back. He has joined a team, I believe, a small mixed team out there. Can he make the climb back to the top tier of CS? A giant mystery going forward. As always, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of CSGO News. I am now going to leave for the weekend. I'm going to take a short 3-day weekend, a little bit of a trip. I'm going to try my best to pre-record some videos for all of you guys. I do have one video that you guys did request via Twitter. That will be the entire wrap-up video about Decay versus Furia and angry Brazilian fans. I will leave that for tomorrow or Saturday. Besides that, though, for all you CSGO viewers, I will see you back here Monday, of course, breaking down more CSGO news and esports news. So thank you all for watching. Enjoy your weekends. I will try and enjoy mine. I'm going to rest. I'm going to relax. I'm going to get rid of these bags, which are getting somehow, they're never going away. Until then, though, take care, guys. I'll see you soon.